Good morning. Welcome to A Country Girl's Cooking. I'm Rhonda. If you don't know that, most of you do know. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen this morning. I really appreciate it. Today, or this morning, I wanted to get started on my pita bread dough because I'm going to make some chicken pitas for supper tonight or this evening. I don't know why we always say tonight and it's not really tonight. But I wanted to show y'all my recipe and how I make it. I've made it 4 or 5 times, and the first time I used a recipe from Martha Stewart, and it was delicious. And this time I'm using a recipe that was on Cooking with Julia Child. She had some people on there. It's been bukus of years ago, and they made lapna and Latmajune, whatever that means. I did know what it meant, but I kind of forgot. And then the pita bread. And it's so easy, y'all. If you've got oil, flour, and water, and yeast, and a little tad bit of sugar, you can make pita bread. And it's simple. It is so easy. Just takes a little bit of time. And if you're sitting around the house and you want to do something different, make some pita bread. It's so much tastier than the kind you buy. I promise. Okay? But what we got to do, now I use whole wheat flour plus white flour. If you don't like whole wheat flour, you can substitute that out and definitely use the white flour. And it's all-purpose flour. Okay? So I'm going to get my ingredients together and I'll be right back. Okay, so what you're going to need to begin with is 2.5 cups of wheat flour. Now, I just had my wheat flour. Okay. And I keep mine in this plastic bag because I haven't put it all in containers yet. But it doesn't matter, it's whole wheat flour. It's a lot of different brands out there. You need some whole wheat flour. Like I said, if you don't want the whole wheat flour, you can use all white, all-purpose flour, okay? And then you're gonna need some white flour, all-purpose flour. You start off 2 cups at a time after you mix up your base, and I'll show you about all that in a minute. You're going to need a packet of yeast, okay? You're gonna need some olive oil, salt, just a little bit of sugar, and some water. That's about it, okay? So let's get started on this recipe, y'all. First of all, I've got 2.5 cups. Let me warm this water up a little bit. Hold on, it still got cold. Okay, you're going to want, you need 2.5 cups of warm water, no more than about 110 degrees, okay? And I've got a 2-cup measure here, and then I've got a 1/2 cup of warm water here that I have put a packet of yeast in and about 2 teaspoons of sugar. And you see how it's looking? It's getting frothy, and they're waking up and they're eating. And I've told y'all before that the bubbles come from when they eat, they pass gas, and it's carbon dioxide bubbles, just like that's what makes the yeast, the flour get bigger and it doubles in size. It's from the bubbles from where they pass the gas. I know that sounds gross or whatever, but it's the truth. So anyway, it's alive because it's getting frothy, and they got to have something to eat. So anytime y'all work with yeast, put in a little bit of sugar, even if it's just a 1/2 teaspoon, because that gets them going, okay? And I'm going to let that sit for just a minute, and I'm going to pour a little bit more of this warm water in there because that wakes them up. You'll see in a minute when it'll start doing something different. It just needed, my water's kind of gotten cold. It's kind of gotten cold. Put a little bit more warm water in there. Okay. All right. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to bring y'all over here, I think, if you don't mind. Okay. All righty. I think I got you right. I hope I do. Okay. Now, what we've got here is my big bowl, and we've got a dough hook thingamajigger, and I've got 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I've done my yeast deal, and I'm waiting on that. That's 2.5 cups, because I added more water to this cup. And we need 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour. So we're going to put that in there. Okay, and now we've got to add salt into our flour. You don't want to add it to your yeast. I've told you before, if you add it to your yeast, it will kill the yeast. Okay, I need 1 tablespoon, and I know that sounds like a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for. 1 tablespoon of salt. Because we're adding more flour to this too, see? And I'm gonna mix this up. Okay, now what I wanna do is go ahead and add some of my water. I'm gonna add the yeast water in just a minute. And I wanted to get this dough a little wet before I put in my olive oil. And the olive oil, you got to have 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Or some type of oil. And I use a good olive oil, okay? So we got 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get this going. Try to stir in the same direction for a little while before you, and that's what the guy said. It helps develop the gluten. I can't always do that because of my hands, but I try. I hope that thing don't fall over, y'all. If it does, I'm sorry. All right. Now I'm going to add the rest of my water with my yeast in it. And I don't see any yeast behind there, so. I usually scrape it out, but it's good. All right, now what you want to do is stir this. We're going to let this part, after we stir it a little while, we're going to let this sit and get bubbly. Okay, let me get another spoon and scrape the sides. Okay. And we're going to stir this for a few minutes. Probably 2 or 3 minutes. Now, like I said, if you don't want to use the whole wheat, start the same process with the white flour. You don't have to do, I mean, there's a lot of different recipes for pita bread. I found that this one is really tasty because it gives certain processes, it brings out the most flavor, I think. It gives the yeast time to work, and it also helps develop a lot of flavor. And you want to stir it because you want to hydrate all of this flour. Stir it in the same direction, he said. I don't think it would matter, but that's what he said. Because we're strengthening the flour strands. All right, I think that's well enough. Okay. Now I'm going to cover this for 5-10 minutes, and when we come back, hopefully you'll see it maybe moving. I hope, if we're lucky, it'll be you'll see the yeast working. Oh, cover it also. I've got an old tea towel or kitchen towel. It's clean, it's just old. And I'm gonna let it sit in a warm spot for 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 15. Well, hey, I'm back. It's been about 45 minutes. I went ahead and fixed Randy's breakfast. I fixed us a BLT. I had a fresh tomato. Okay, y'all, I want to show y'all what's going on in this bowl here. If y'all can see, it was moving really good when I first took it out of the oven. It was just a bubbling away. Do y'all see it? It was just going inside out, and now that I've took it out of the oven, because I had the light on in the oven, and that kept it the right temperature. But do y'all see what I'm talking about? See all them air bubbles? And like I said, it was moving really good. Brandy's like, it's alive. So, anyway, that's all of the whole wheat flour that I'm going to use. You don't want to use all whole wheat flour because I've tried it, and the texture is just a little too much. Okay? I'm hoping this thing's not going to tip over. I'm hoping. Okay, now I'm going to... now this right here, the reason you do this step is it creates some of the gluten strands, and it develops more flavor. The slower the fermentation, and what I mean by that is the yeast fermentation, you know, the yeast flavor. The slower things ferment, the more flavor you're going to have, okay? That's just the way it is. All right, I'm going to get this sponge off of here. That's what it's really going to be, is a sponge. Okay. Use a measuring cup for that. Now we're going to start adding our flour. And we're going to add about a cup at a time, y'all. Okay? And I'm hoping that I've got enough all-purpose. Yeah, I think I do. I hope I do. I'm really hoping I do. You can add about 2 cups at a time. And there's no specific amount until you come to like a ball. Well, I'll show you. You don't want it too wet and you don't want it too dry. Oh, it smells lovely. This is so easy, y'all. If you got time, do it. You can do it at night and set it in the refrigerator. As long as you have it in the refrigerator, it'll be fine. Because that'll slow the process down a little bit, you know. You don't want it to be too fermented. So that's about 3 cups already of white flour, all-purpose. And I'll probably have to add about 1.5 more cups. I'm gonna have to sneeze. Every time I work with flour, I have to sneeze. probably gonna have to add maybe another half a cup. Hold on. So altogether, that's probably about 4.5 cups. That's about right. That's about what you want right there. You want it a little sticky, but you don't want it dry, but you don't want it too wet. See? Because you're going to have to knead it. I need a stool. I'm short. I think that's good right there, I'm hoping. When it starts pulling away from the bowl, then you know it's pretty much good. And that's what it's doing, see? It's not sticking to the bowl anymore, to the sides of the bowl. So, I think we're good. Okay, y'all, I'm going to turn this dough onto my work surface. Now we're going to have to we're going to have to knead this for about 10 minutes until it becomes smooth and stretchy. And it'll take a few minutes. So you just relax and just, you know, just knead it. I need my bench scraper. Hold on, y'all. Okay. I like to knead bread. And if it gets too sticky, just add a little bit of flour. And I'm going to tell you something, y'all. This is the best tasting pita bread. It is so good. And I would put it in plastic bags, you know, after I cook it. And it lasts, and you can freeze it for months at a time. You can keep it in the refrigerator. It's delicious. I'm gonna make bagels soon. I want to make those too. And pretzels, things like that. You know, I love to do that. Just flour your hands. And you'll know when it's ready by the feel of it. Once you start doing this kind of stuff, if you haven't ever done it, you'll know by the way it feels. I promise you. And then once you're success at it, because I have failed at it, believe me, then you're going to love doing it. I kid you not. So I'm going to knead this, y'all, and I will be back when it's ready, okay? So it's just about ready, guys. It's not sticking as bad. And it's smooth. And I can tell by the feel of the texture of the dough. Because it bounces back. You see what I mean? See what I'm talking about? See? See what I mean? It's got that elasticity to it. That's when you know it's ready. And it's not sticking so bad. See what I mean? So I think I've about done got it where I want it. It feels great. See what I'm talking about? It's got that bouncy back. It's like, you can tell by the feel of it. Patty cake, patty cake. All right, I'm going to put some olive oil in this bowl. Just a little bit. And I'm going to plop that in there and just flip it around. Get it coated so it won't dry out, okay? Just make sure it's coated. And I wouldn't normally put it in this bowl, but it's not that dirty, so I'm not that worried about it. If it was real, if it had tons of dough in it, I would say, y'all, put it in a clean bowl. But this one's okay. So we got it coated. And what did I do with the towel I had? Okay. All right, I'm gonna put this towel on top of it. And I'm gonna put it back in the oven for about an hour. And let it double in size. And if you can't get to it in an hour, just punch it down and go back, put it back in the oven. If it gets real big and you say, I can't do it just yet, punch it down or take it out and fold it around so the yeast can be redistributed. And put it back in the oven, cover it up, and it can go another round. It'll just have more flavor, okay? So I stuck it in my oven with just the light on. Don't turn the oven on, just the light. Make sure it's covered up. And if it gets real hot in your oven with the light on, I would put it somewhere else. You don't want it too hot, okay? And I wouldn't punch it down no more than one time, you know, after it's risen. If you can't do it, punch it down. I wouldn't let it rise too many times because you don't want it to overproof and then it's a flop. I've done that too. So I'm gonna clean up my mess, and when I get back, we're gonna roll out some little discs and make some pita bread.